Now we get to the regular polygon problems. So we have a regular hexagon with a radius of 6, and we're trying to find the area. So the first thing I want to do is just kind of consider this triangle here. And remember that if this is a hexagon, that if I take 360 and divide by 6, then this central angle is 60 degrees. But then I'm going to split that in half and actually make two 30, 60, 90s. So this angle is 30, and the bottom is 60, and we know the radius of our triangle is 6. So if I look now at my picture, I can see I have a 30, 60, 90 with a hypotenuse of 6. Well, using my 30, 60, 90 properties, to get the short leg, I just take the hypotenuse and divide by 2, which makes that 3. And then to get the long leg, I multiply the short leg times the square root of 3. So that's 3 square root of 3. And that now is my apothem. So my apothem is 3 square root of 3. And my formula for area is 1/2 the apothem times the perimeter. So substituting in 3 square root of 3, and then calculating the perimeter. So again, if I look at this triangle, if this was 3, the whole side was 6. And there were 6 sides of 6. So that makes my perimeter 36. And now just multiplying all that together, I end up with a total of 93.5 square centimeters. Problem number 27 is another regular polygon problem, but this time we know the side of the polygon is 14. So again, we're going to want to divide this into a triangle. If we have 360 degrees in a circle, then this central angle for my regular polygon would be 360 divided by 5, which would make it 72. But then each of these little angles are going to be 36. So I'm going to pull out that triangle. This angle is 36. And the side now is 7 because we split the 14 into 2 7s. So I need to know the length of the apothem, so I'm going to put an A there. And now it's a trig problem. So I know the opposite and I need the adjacent. So this would be the tangent of 36 would be 7 over A, opposite over adjacent. Put your trig function over 1 and cross multiply. So A times the tangent of 36 would equal 7. And we're going to divide by the tangent of 36. And when we do that, if I take 7 and divide by the tangent of 36, I get 9.6. So that's the length of my apothem. And now I can go back to my formula that the area is 1/2 A times perimeter. We now know A is 9.6. And my perimeter was 14 by 5, by 5, which is 70. And now just take my calculator and do 0.5 times 9.6 and times 70. And we should get a final answer of 336. And that was square inches. Earlier, we did a problem similar to number 28 by looking for we were told the arc length, and they wanted us to find the measure of the angle. This time we're told the area of a sector, and we're supposed to find the radius of the circle. So my area of a sector formula is m over 360 times pi r squared. But we know our area is 16 pi, and we know that our angle is 60 degrees, so 60 over 360 times pi r squared. So I'm going to go ahead, 60 over 360 simplifies down to 1/6. And then I'll multiply both sides by 6. And when I do that, I'm going to get 96 pi would equal pi r squared, because my 1/6 and my 6 will cancel. And now if I divide by pi, I get that r squared equals 96, and I can take the square root of both sides and get that in decimal. And if I take the square root of 96, I get 9.8. And that would have been centimeters because it was a linear unit. Problem number 29 actually tells us the area of a trapezoid, so we're just going to use our formula. Area is 1/2 h, b1 plus b2, and we're going to substitute in all of our numbers and work backwards. So the area was 210, our height was 15, and our bases were x and 18. So at this point, you could either multiply half of 15 and get 7.5, or you could multiply both sides by 2. I'm going to go ahead and do half of 15. That's not too bad. Now, I would not distribute here. I'd go ahead and just divide both sides by 7.5. So if I take 210 and divide by 7.5, I get 28. So 28 equals x plus 18, and then subtract 18, and x is 10. And that would be meters. Our last problem asks us to find the area of a right triangle if the hypotenuse is 16 and one of the legs is 7. So then I'm going to use Pythagorean theorem and solve for x. So if I do 16 squared minus 7 squared, I get 207. And then take the square root of that, I get 14.4. And now I can find the area because the area is 1/2 the base times the height. My base was 7, and my height I just found was 14.4. And now just use your calculator and get an answer of 50.4. And that would have been in square inches.